banter, yeah.
All right. Good morning, everybody. That was fun. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer, JC, Steve, Alfonso with you this morning. A lot going on. We will, of course, talk about the overnight and morning reactions to the election last night. We'll talk about the betting markets. They nailed it, so got to give credit to them. And the theme of the day is, okay, that's over with. Now what? That's the question, right? Now what? And that's what will get us through the show. So we'll have Brian Lund stop by at 9. We'll have Kenny Glick. We'll have Mary. We got you. We got me. We got us. Let's do this, all right? Smash the like. Here we go.
All right, we out here, Mr. Steve Strazza. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great today. How are you guys?
All right, so this is going to be, I'm not just talking to Steve Strazza, although he is at the top of mind here for me. I'm not talking about the entire analyst team here at All-Star Charts, also top of mind. I'm talking to everybody out there. This is not time for victory laps. Strazza might be having the best day of his life, maybe. If not, at least it's in the conversation. I am certainly having maybe the best day of my life. I don't know. I haven't totaled it, but needless
things
to
are
say,
up a lot. A lot of things are up a lot.
Yeah,
is what
needless to say, Strazza and I are doing very, very well. A lot of our friends are having amazing weeks, amazing months, amazing quarters, crushing it. Now, the reason that I bring this up is because this is not the time for end zone dances. This is not like, act like you've been there, right? And again, I'm not talking to Steve, even though me and Steve are top of mind here and the rest of our analyst team. It's not about that. The rest of you, everybody, act like you've been there, all right? You're making a lot of money. Stock market's at all-time highs. Bitcoin's at all-time highs. Everything's great. Now, we still have to move forward. And we still have to make the decision, are we buying stocks, are we selling stocks, or are we doing nothing, right? That has not changed. We just now have new data, a lot of new data. And before we get into what the market is doing, I want to reiterate something else that I think is a huge win for everybody. Even if you hate Orange Julius, even if you are the most hardcore liberal, the betting markets being accurate and reiterating that these pollsters are lying to you.
No. Were they really accurate, JC? Were they actually accurate? Because it
betting markets?
It should have been like 70-30 because it was just such a wipeout victory.
Well, they started pricing it in very fast. Doge, you were right. You were spot on in the Doge. Strazza said that Doge was the biggest Trump trade, and I pushed back on that. You were spot on.
If you look at some of the districts he won and by how much, like that was he absolutely wrecked her last night. And the betting markets, I would say, didn't reflect that. Should have been higher odds for Trump, if anything.
Yeah, but they moved faster. They moved faster than anything else, right? So, but like the market was already pricing in a Trump landslide yesterday morning. And it's 10 o'clock at night, and CNN's telling people how close the race is, right? Like, the point is that the bifurcation between what the market is actually doing and what these assholes on TV are telling you.
Yeah.
Like, this just reiterate, in case you didn't know, we knew. We talk about it all the time. We knew. We want to focus on what the market is actually doing. The people on television are not there to help you. They're there to just make you think that you need to consume their content. And if you're not, then you're left out and you're going to fall behind. That's their only motivation. They're not here to help you. In fact, one can argue that they are maliciously trying to hurt their audience in favor of their own selfish needs and incentives. And this, in my opinion, just reiterate, in case you didn't already know.
They're so done. Elon is the real winner of this election. Did you see his Twitter this morning walking into the White House with the kitchen sink? Everybody mocked this man for paying $44 billion for Twitter. It's probably the deal of a century if you look at what he just did. I want to tell one story. I did not go to my
Go ahead.
I did not go to my friend's Trump victory party last night, but I was in the war room. I have a shirt on. It's of the great state of Florida, and at the bottom, there's a big red heart down here. Wow, 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 wow! What a red wave rode through Florida yesterday. You know when I knew it was over, Spencer? You know what the biggest, most valuable piece of early information from the early states closing?
What was that?
Miami. The Republicans, Trump won Miami-Dade County. That doesn't happen. We got the information early, and that's as soon as you saw the market start pricing in huge Trump winning odds. That was the best piece of information. Trump taking Miami, knew it was over.
That Doge ripping, man. Strazza nailed it. I was like, yeah, is Doge really the biggest Trump trade? Like, I guess, in hindsight, as we were spot on trust the markets, not the polls. Great. But I underestimated, and you were right again. I hate to keep saying Strazza was right, but fuck, he was right again.
Had a good election.
Estimated the Trump-Elon dynamic. I understood that it existed. I understood there was something there.
So real.
12% today, Doge up 30. It was a lot more than I thought, that dynamic.
Elon has basically showed Trump there's an unlimited amount of money for you. Their relationship could be scary.
Yeah,
to be honest.
I underestimated that, and the market clearly proved that there is something there.
It's a juiced crypto vehicle plus Elon.
Yeah,
pretty good.
No, you were right. You were right. All right, we're moving on. The markets are trading. Let's rock and roll, Spencer Israel. Rock and roll. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Dow futures. Are you ready for this? Up 1,300 points this morning.
Ooh!
After a 500 spot yesterday. So that's 1,800 Dow points in 24 hours.
Is that a lot? It sounds like a lot.
Sounds like a lot. So that's 3% for those who don't like Dow in points. It's 3%. It's just math. But it is, in fact, up 1,300 points after 500 yesterday. S&P's up 2.2% to 130 handles, 59.40 for S&P futures. NASDAQ 100 futures, 1.8%, 365 points. That's 20,700 for the NASDAQ 100 futures. And the bond market is getting the crap kicked out of it. 30-year bond futures down 2%. With crude oil down 3%. So for those people who think that the bond market going down is a bad thing for the stock market because of inflation, they are not looking at crude oil also down 3%. So it seems to me like the bond market is getting clobbered because the world's never been a better place, and the interest rate market is pricing that in accordingly. It's things are good, not, oh shit, inflation, right? So that's what that is. Speaking of no inflation, copper down 4.5%, getting smoked. 4.25%. Gold down 2.8%, 2670. Silver down 5%, 31 and change, with the volatility index getting slaughtered at 15. 15 for the VIX. We were in the 20s. Wow. Volatility getting destroyed. So all right. So I got that one right. I said volatility was going to collapse. You guys were telling me the VIX is going to 30. Todd Sohn. Steve Strazza. Euro getting slaughtered down 2%. Big moves. Over in funny money land, we've got the Bitcoin up 6.5%. That's 4,500 points for Bitcoin. And I guess somebody been messing with this. So let's go. Let's go one by one. Ethereum.
8%.
Ethereum is up 8%. That's 200 points for Ethereum. 2620 for Ether. And then over in Solana, Solana up 12%, 186. And then just for shits and giggles, let's do the Binance, even though I said that they don't deserve to be mentioned anymore. Binance only up 3%, reiterating how much it sucks. 581 Total crypto market cap. Mr. Spencer Israel, we are now looking at officially, what is the number? The number's so big I can't even see it. 2.26, is that right? 2.26 for total crypto market cap. And BTC dominance. Let's see, BTC dominance is still above 60%. So big moves last night. What stands out?
Is it weird to say that I'm almost surprised that things aren't up more? I mean, maybe my expectations were unrealistic, but we were talking about limit up last night, hypothetically speaking, right? Like that didn't happen, right?
Yes,
So
this could have been better. I was thinking the same thing. I know we sound crazy, but if you look at past elections, you get fireworks. And yeah.
Are we allowed to quote the VIX in percentage terms when it's down 23%, or is that still the chart crime? At what threshold can you use percentage terms for the VIX? Anybody in the chat?
No.
Yeah, really that's a good call, Dawson. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Russell 2000 futures up 6.5%.
Really more.
Yeah, good call, Dawson. Yeah, my bad. You're right. That's the biggest thing that stands out in the futures market.
I just mean, considering how decisive a victory it was, I am a little bit surprised that things aren't up more. You know what I mean?
The Russell 2000 is up 6.5%, dude. That's
a lot.
I'm with Spencer.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Spencer.
Can we talk about how much the Russell 2000 loves Donald Trump? Because the greatest candlestick in the history of candlesticks is the Russell 2000 futures weekly candle from November of 2016. Greatest weekly candle in the history of candles. So small caps really like a one Donald J. Trump.
Can we talk about this strategy or this thing that this trap that traders seem to fall into about, I'm not going to own things, in an event like the election, right? Here's the problem with that. A lot of times we look at these chart patterns and they set up so nicely and you get these long consolidations, right? And there's a polarity level that's respected over and over and over again. And the market is having a tough time absorbing that overhead supply and getting through it. And then all of a sudden there's an economic data release, or there's an FOMC meeting, or there's a presidential election, or somebody says something, or China does something, or there's stimulus somewhere, or the Bank of Japan does this. And you get a monster breakout, like a decisive breakout of this range, right? That happens all the time. So if you're a person who says, no, I don't want exposure around these kinds of events, or no, I don't want to trade these kinds of events, you're really missing out on probably a great deal of the market's returns over time, right? We see this all the time. And I'm not saying it always happens to the upside. The same thing will happen to the downside and ranges will break down. But it's often these events that people are afraid of and want to stay away from that are the catalysts to break out these chart patterns. And we're seeing it here today.
And then here's the other thing that you and I agreed on this, Strazza. The argument, and I questioned it myself, because that's what I do. I question things as portfolio managers, right? So I questioned whether this was four rich guys in a back room manipulating the market. We talked about it, and I think that we all agreed that makes little sense, because let's just say that it was four rich guys, Peter Thiel and Elon and company manipulating this behind the scenes. Then the company's dead and nobody will take it seriously next election cycle or the one after that. And if these guys are businessmen, that's not good business, right?
I think there's a giant fade risk here this morning. Just want to say that. Just want to throw that out.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm looking forward to what Kenny has to say on that.
Kenny's going to have a day today.
Yeah.
A lot of these candles are already melting. I mean, of course, be patient. Market doesn't open for another 45 minutes.
And there was a lot happening last night.
Yeah. That's right.
And you know what was cool? For the first time ever, we could see what individual stocks were doing in the middle of the night. So it was 11:30. I'm watching Mara was up 10%, Riot, MicroStrategies, DJT was up 45% at one point.
Coinbase,
Tesla was up a ton.
Yeah,
that was cool. So I was looking forward to that part the most of the whole election.
For sure.
The first time you could see individual securities, and that was awesome.
Yes, it was. And another thing that was brand new this election, and I think really cool, is the consolidated investment platform for investing around an election. What do I mean by that? People can, for the first time ever, log into their brokerage, buy a stock that they think is going to do well on the election, and then also bet on Trump in the same app.
And buy crypto.
And buy crypto, right? So like that's all been
And
consolidated in one
get
place.
yield on your cash.
I think it's cool. Listen, I don't know if there's really anything there, but this is America.
What do you mean? That's a great thing. The ability to do all those things on one platform. That's great. What do you mean?
Yeah. So good. No, good for Robinhood. I just want to point out how this is a Musk victory, not an EV victory or anything else. This is about one man. Look at the price action, Spencer. Spencer knows a lot about the EV industry. They're not all up today. In fact, all the other ones are getting smashed, and Tesla's up.
Tesla's like up 12.5%.
I mean,
points.
Tesla disconnected from the rest of its peers a long time ago. It really doesn't move with them anymore.
You're absolutely right. This is the nail in the coffin, though. Like, it's over. Game, set, match. Why did you try to compete with Tesla? You're going to go away one day.
Throw up the next two slides there, Spencer. Just show the Doge. This was as of last night, making new 6-month highs. It's up even more. It's up another point since then. So the Doge is up 16% here. And then the next one, this is a really interesting one. This one's the FWOG. Last night over on, we had a live event, which was great.
The chat was loving Nicky Montana last night.
Dude, he's the man, dude.
He's the shit coins. Yeah.
He's the man. So I'm asking Nicky, I was like, dude, give me a name, something not on the radar. He's showing me the FWOG. He thinks FWOG is the next dog with hat. So if you missed the next dog with hat, check out the FWOG. And if you're like, well, it doesn't, just because it's going to be the next one of that is not a good reason to buy it. Well, Popcat was literally built to be the next Bonk and actually exceeded Bonk's market cap. So being the next of something in the meme coin world is actually a valid fundamental reason to own something.
I love it. Really good stuff. And watch the solar stocks today. I'm looking at so much stuff. These solar
what about China?
Like, yes, you don't want to chase stuff like on a morning like this, but I'm looking at these candles. Tan's down 11.25% this morning. Enphase back to the lower bounds. First solar testing the pivot lows. I don't know. Are they all going to go to zero?
Dude, I am watching these China names. FXI's down 3% today. K-Web's down 3.5%. I want to see if they come in and buy them. Because if they come in and buy China on this dip, I am going to very aggressively be buying China on this dip.
They got to buy them. You're right. Look, you're right. Same concept.
Yeah, Harmon, they're saying JC was wrong about China.
Look at
the election was yesterday. We'll see. First of all, we're not even in yet, right? Let's see if it starts to go. The idea is 3-6 months after the election, we're going to look back and there's a high likelihood that China's the biggest winner. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we'll be in it. Maybe there's no trade. Let's see it. If they buy China today, I'm going to be all over this thing.
I'm planning to mostly be a seller today. Lots of things that I'm so excited to go and sell. If I'm buying anything, I'm probably buying red candles out here today.
See, I want to buy green Chinese ones.
Steve, maybe you get it as soon as it changes colors, right?
I mean, if they turn China green today, how do you not buy it, dude? Right?
Yeah, all day. Yes.
You got to buy it. So, I mean, that's front and center. And maybe they melt and keep going lower. And China is, in fact, terrible for China. Trump is a bad thing for China. Maybe.
I'm looking at some shippers. There's some interesting stuff going on with like global supply chain tariff situation. The shippers, that's interesting. Dick's Sporting Goods was a name that's been thrown around like nonstop for the past couple of weeks about being a tariff situation loser. Watching stuff like that. And then the biotechs. Look at these biotechs. We talked about how these prolonged ranges, they just needed a catalyst. XBI is breaking out today. So pre-market, it is at its highest level now since early 2022, completing this base. KRE, regional bank, same thing at their highest level since early 2023 now, getting a breakout from that base. Russell 2000, basically at new all-time highs. Boy, did that happen fast. If you look at the S&P 600, breakaway gap to new all-time highs. If you look at something like the value line index, it's going to follow and look very similar. So a lot of action out here today. I like these resolutions. I don't think you have to chase them, but I do think that they are breakouts that you do eventually want to buy.
Throw up slide 2, Spencer Israel, please.
Steve, the biggest gainer on my list this morning is Geo Group, in case you're wondering.
So good.
So while everybody was being distracted with politics because they're too mentally weak to overcome their political biases
Yeah.
to make portfolio decisions, right?
Yeah.
And we know that, and that is
Yep.
one of the market anomalies that we want to take advantage of, people's
Sure.
weak minds.
Yep.
And while they were losing their minds over who the next president's going to be, you had the put call ratio hitting the highest levels since October of 2023. Does anybody remember what happened after October 2023?
You were right about the put calls, JC. This was great.
If this wasn't the biggest buy signal you ever seen, stock market's making all-time high. These motherfuckers are buying puts like the world's coming to an end.
I was already so blindly bullish last night. I just couldn't take any more evidence. So listen, you know what else I did yesterday?
Fair enough. Strazza's like, what's the difference? I'm all in anyway, so whatever.
It wasn't going to change anything for me. So coal stocks. Maybe these next 4 years will be a lot better than the last 4 years under Trump for coal. If you look at these ranges, we talk about energy, we talk about uranium, straight up off of the pandemic lows in 2020, then all of these traditional energy groups have been straight sideways for several years, 3 years now. I think these ranges are going to break out. If you look at something like Peabody, BTU, breaking out of a nice range, making new multi-year highs today. If you look at CEIX, Consol, that's the strongest one right now, breaking out of a massive multi-year range, new all-time highs. So these things look really good. I'm super long coal right now. I think that's a group to pay attention to.
Coal. All right.
Also, AMR, JC, you remember Alpha Metallurgical Resources?
How can I not? It was the biggest winner. Wasn't it the biggest winner off the COVID lows?
This is truly like the greatest company buyback or corporate buyback story in market history, or at least one of them. AMR is down from the 2024 highs. Like we talk about how these like former darlings really get hit. It's down 50%. It's in 50% drawdown right now. We used to talk about this stock like it was the best stock in the market. You can get it, 50% sale. So I don't know.
I want to bring Kenny on real fast. This might be the biggest candle ever for Discover Financial, up 15% this morning. I can't.
Oh, you know what?
That's huge for Discover. Yeah. It's massive.
I wonder why. I wonder what's going on there.
I don't know. You know what? Maybe it's earnings. I have no idea. I have no clue. Yeah. Actually, is it earnings? It's
also,
not.
JC, when we're done with Kenny, we should talk about the currency market.
Yeah, please. Yeah. Speaking of things I got wrong, if I expected that if the market was going to rip like it's doing, I would have said guaranteed dollar down. I would have said guaranteed. I don't care. Couldn't have been more wrong.
Dollar's basically having its best day of the year out here.
Goldman Sachs, by the way, you guys wanted to make fun of Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs nailed this.
Wow.
Nailed it.
And there go rates too. Wow. Okay.
They nailed it. So I was wrong. Goldman Sachs was right. The dollar was, in fact, a Trump trade. I didn't see it that way. Shows you what I know. So, again, a little humble pie. No big deal for all of us, even in like one of the best days of my entire life today. Still eating a little of that humble pie. It's all good, right? It's good for you.
Can't get it all right, JC.
Bring Kenny on.
Can't get it all right. That's right.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Kenny Glick. Look at you, Mr. Cowboy.
New sheriff's in town.
Oh, so good. Mr. Kenny Glick, we are having some morning here on our team. And, we are hoping that you got quite the fade trade for us because we're looking to do a little fading.
Well, I've been taking the rest of the week off, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just waiting for the all clear signal to start rounding up all them varmints out there. You know what I'm saying? There's a new sheriff in town. That's right. Yeah. Smoke them out. I know what I'm saying. Listen, actually, the only fade so far has been the Trump stock. That's been a pretty simple one.
This thing was up 45% last night, dude.
Yeah. You know what I'm actually happy about? Some of our fellas in the room own Humana. I don't know why it's up to 30 points, but yay.
Shout out Humana.
HUM. We bought that dip when they came out with that, whatever that news was that day. It was one of the first stocks that we started talking about when we started doing the the free sessions and whatnot. Anyway, but yeah, you know what? I'm looking to short some stocks today, but I'm probably just going to put a straitjacket on because it doesn't really want to fade right now. I'm going to sit here and be really, really, really disciplined. I mean, Trump stock was an easy one that broke VWAP. It rolled over and made some money on that. But, I tried shorting the Qs and immediately got stopped out and annihilated, not stopped out, but, just got, once it broke back over 510, I was out and spiked another dollar. But again, it is, again, normally I come in looking to just play the fade. I'm going to wait. Again, UVXY absolutely got annihilated. And yesterday, if you believed in the UVXY like I do, it was telling you that coast was clear. The market had already decided who won. It knew who won. UVXY was getting pounded on yesterday. And now, obviously, today, it's down another 15%. So, I'll be watching that and, just sitting back and, suggest that people take some profits on the Humana and take some profits on, Palantir up another 2.5 points. So we're still long that. Again, if you're just looking for a swing trade, you might as well take something off.
You know what I think about? So this is what I think about. So I'm in this crossroads where, in a lot of these cases, like the Russell 2000, it looks like we're potentially just breaking out for the first time. So
Yeah.
It's got legs. Same thing with the transports, right? The other side of me, remembers Bear Stearns. I went into the Bear Stearns event short very aggressively, financials. And I remember saying, man, if you're not covering shorts the day Bear Stearns disappears, what the hell are you waiting for? Right? So that thought process, covering my shorts that morning in March of 2008, because if I didn't, what the hell are you waiting for? That mentality. Is this one of those things where if you're long and you're looking to take profits, is today the day that you do that? Because what are you waiting for, right? So that's how I think about it, for right or wrong. And I don't know what I'm doing yet, but that's what's on my mind.
Yeah. What also you have to address is depending on what your nature of trading is. My dad looks at this as great. We're going up another 20% from here. I'm not selling. Right. The short-minded trader, for instance, if you came in long Humana, chickadee ching, you're going to cash out. You came in long a couple of stocks that you were just swinging. Here it is. You're getting that payday. You're gonna sell and possibly for us, we're going to short some stocks and play the fade. So it's all about the time horizon. I still think we're going higher. We're still not at all-time highs on the Qs. And if we break out, why not tack on another 10%, which is 50 more points on the Qs going into the end of the year? So as much as we might get a selling event today, what about tomorrow? The people that sell out and say this could be the top, there is no top. There is no spoon. We're in the matrix. There is no top. So once those people, and again, especially the shorters, so this could be setting up the next big move, because if you cash out and then the market starts moving on without you, the fear of missing out kicks in. They'll want to buy back in. And the shorts that think, oh, this is definitely the top, everyone's going to sell out. Once we start to break back out, they're going to have to cover their shorts, and that's the perfect storm. Longs getting back in, shorts are starting to cover, and next thing you know, we're off to the races. So again, I live each day, as much as I can. I try to do as much as I can on a daily basis. But again, it's all about time frame. And right now, the Qs are fading off, and I just sat back down, and here's the trade that I was waiting to do. So if you guys are looking to short something, again, I'm looking at the Qs. And again, they held VWAP, they broke, they came back. I got caught up in that short. I wound up losing on it, but now it never broke new highs. So again, like I said, it's just, there it is. Patience, my friends. Just be patient. There'll be setups today, and just go back to looking at just the earnings reports. CVS came out with earnings. I'm going to be watching that. Clove tonight. I'm still long the Clove from 3 months ago.
Wow.
I'm waiting to see what this has to say, and I'm actually going to. Now I'm in a speculative kind of mood. I'm buying calls into this stock, into the number tonight on Clove, because listen, if I got a $5 call on it or $4.50, this thing breaks out again, we're looking at $6. So again, I love this market. And again, by the way, here's the fade on the Qs. You're right back to where I covered earlier. So anyway, that's
yeah, crazy. Looking for some rotation for sure. That's for on my mind, it's not about end zone dancing. It's about where's the rotation. I smell some kind of rotation.
Yeah, all I want to do.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is no rotation. Maybe leaders keep leading. I don't know.
Seeing Goldman Sachs up 40 points earlier, I was like, I have to short it, and I missed that one too. But again, the Trump short was the one I was looking at, and it did break VWAP, so I got a short off on that one. But yeah, again, that's I'm just gonna sit back and wait. It's the easiest trade there is. Sit back and
More
wait.
importantly, Harmander wants to know, Kenny, did you have a good birthday?
Yeah, it was nice. We had I did a nice bunch of oysters and some tuna tartare, and
Ooh, somebody's fancy.
yeah, so Big Al and my mom, my parents are healthy and wealthy and wise, and we're playing pickleball. So yeah, it was a good time. Going out tonight with some cousins, and then Atlantic City. So it's going to be birthday week for
Oh
me.
boy,
So I'm pacing myself.
AC is not ready for you.
No drinking for Thursday. So we'll be in Atlantic City. If anybody's around Atlantic City Saturday night, we're going all night, baby.
Atlantic City. Oh, be careful for
There you go. I got my oxygen tank and my Ben Gay, and I'm ready to rock.
Look at this guy. Somebody's having a day over here.
Oh boy.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's got his bull market hat on. He's our chief YOLO officer is covering all his YOLOs as we speak.
What I'm not excited about is silver tanking. So that's no fun.
Well, the dollar's ribbon.
Can't win them all, man.
Kenny does look 35. Kenny looks great, brother. Keep up the good work, my man.
Thank you. Try
All
sober
right,
October next year. I lost 11 pounds. I didn't know I had 11 pounds to lose. I didn't drink for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Month and a half.
All right, Gall. I'll see you
All
guys
right.
in the room.
See you,
All
kid.
right.
Good luck today. Have a great rest of the day.
I love Strazza playing the retro.
Pet Shop Boys.
When I was growing up in Miami in the late 90s, like when we first started going to clubs, that's the type of music they would play.
Oh, I love that. That was the best time in Miami, I hear.
That was a good time. You know, what was crazy is that when I graduated from high school and I went to college, they changed the laws in South Beach where everybody had to be 21. We were going to these clubs at 16, dude, 17, just raging. We were little kids in these things. And then when I went to college, when I would come back and visit like home, I wasn't allowed at these clubs that I would go to when I was in high school. Isn't that crazy? Well, we figured out ways to get in, but
that is funny.
Yeah, crazy.
Beats Club. Bridgeport.
Bring on
dude, Club
Mr. Lund
Amnesia on Collins. Woo! Salvation.
Hey,
Cabaret.
let me tell you something about the clubs in South Beach. Okay, they're coming back online right now. They're getting excited. Club owners are waking up this morning like, oh shit, we're back. We're so back. Crypto Miami 2024.
Yeah. So what's the move by Rick's Cabaret?
Why are we talking about Rick's Cabaret right now?
It's a bylaw. Every 2 weeks we must talk about it.
Rick's Cabaret. It's flat.
All right. Can I bring on Brian Lund?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. All right.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Oh, Mr. BC Lund. How are you, my friend?
Hey, buddy.
Rick's Cabaret, one of the original sin stocks from back in the day.
Dude.
Do they still have that ETF, Vice?
You are in Orange County. How are the Republicans enjoying this victory?
So this is so crazy, but Orange County voted Democrat again.
Really? Wow.
It's people think that Orange County and Huntington Beach specifically is some wacky MAGA hardcore conservative. And yes, down by the pier, you get these nuts.
But it's relative on a relative basis, yes.
Well, yeah, right. Relative to Manhattan, for sure. But you've seen like those nuts at Future Proof down at the pier with the flags. But most of Orange County and Huntington Beach, we're Orange County Republicans, right? We want low taxes. We don't care what happens in your bedroom. We want safe streets. But other than that, we're fairly liberal.
Wow. I mean, it's California at the end of the day. All right. So before we get into stocks, I want to get into the market dynamics here, BC Lund, because you've been around for a minute, right? This isn't your first rodeo. You've been through a few bull market and bear market cycles, an election or two in your day. Can we talk about, the bifurcation between the polls and what the media was telling you, and then what was actually happening in the markets, and, the markets being far closer to reality than what they were telling you? Can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was laughing last night because I have friends that are my age and younger that still are watching CNN, MSNBC, like all the Fox, trying to get their information. They do the same thing on finances, right? And I don't understand it because I told my subscribers in the days coming up to the election, I said, I don't think we're going to have to wait very long. Like, I wasn't sure who was going to win, but like the market to me was not saying that we were going to have a long drawn out, wait, that we would probably know by the end of the night. And sure enough, we did know by the end of the night. So, look, I think mixing politics and finance is so bad. If anyone remembers back in 2016, so Kurt Eichenwald, who was the New York Times Wall Street guy, he famously tweeted that he had sold all of his stocks and all of his kids' stocks because of a Trump, presidency. And then he went on to miss 75% return. So I think whenever you try to conflate your political views with the market, it's a bad idea.
So my dad called me this morning and we were talking about exactly this thing. All the clients that came into his office or called him over the past few weeks and told him about their plans to sell some things or everything. And I just said, Dad, you can't help those people. Like, there's really nothing you could say or do.
No, you can't help them. And because they have an ideology, right? It's like a religion. They believe, and it's all kind of based around a control thing. Like, if this happens, then I'll do that. And the funny thing about the market is, even if Kamala Harris had won, like, markets are pretty smart. Companies are pretty smart. They figure out ways to make money, so I wasn't really worried either way.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And I did watch CNN last night because watching grown adults cry on live television is just...
you should have seen MSNBC. It was even better.
It's just too good to miss. So not something you get to see every day.
Yeah, and look, today is a glorious day across America because now everybody knows that the Starbucks holiday cups are in, right? This makes me so happy. It means that it's really the holidays. And I have a great outlook on life this morning, I have to tell you.
Enough with that pumpkin spice shit, right?
It's tea. It's English breakfast tea, JC. Relax.
I'm drinking my iced coffee out of a plastic straw to celebrate.
Is there Cuban coffee, right? Isn't there some sort of Cuban coffee that's supposed to be pretty good? Right?
Yeah, Cuban coffee is like crack.
Yes.
I once went with my friends on the way home from the beach, and we stopped by the Cuban coffee place, and I had 2 espressos back to back. And then like half an hour later, I got to my parents' house and I was going to lay down and take a nap because I forgot that I had just drank all that coffee. So I laid down. I was like a crackhead. I was like,
no, there's definitely cocaine.
What am I doing? My heart's about to explode. Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. Can we talk about sector rotation? Enough with the end zone dances. Everybody's rich. We're all making a lot of money. Great. Now what? I've had my eyes on this China thing and seeing if on a post-Trump election, they come in and buy China. So far, all they're doing is selling China. So I'm curious to see if they come in and buy them because that will be my personal buy signal. So I'm looking for rotation here. Some kind of rotation other than smalls over large, because that's obviously ripping this morning. I really want to see at the end of the day, Strazza, the ROCs on smalls large. I think we might get some thrusty. Mr. BC Lund, talk to me about rotation. Are you looking for any? Are you just following the trends that are already in place? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is for any trader or investor is to not limit yourself to what you think could happen, right? I'm just open to any possibilities. And sometimes it's the opposite of what you think. Like you made a reference with Kenny's segment about the moment it was to sell, right? I can't remember what the event was, but like I remember when there were rumors that Steve Jobs was sick and had cancer, right? And people kept thinking, does he have it? Does he have it? Does he have it? And then the day that the company actually announced it, that Apple announced it, was the day that their stock bottomed. Right. So sometimes these are the total opposite thing. Now, I'm not saying you should sell this rally. I'm just saying don't get too married to anything that you think is going to happen. As our friend Brian Shannon says, only price pays. So let price and technicals guide you. Be open to different ideas. I mean, think of how many people never saw the real estate stock rally back in October of was it 2022, whatever it was, right? So just keep your mind open to what could happen and then just follow the technicals.
And you know that Jerome Powell doesn't like it when the stock market does too well. He likes to snuff that right out. And he's gonna.
Is that what he told you? Is that what?
He does it every time. When we get like these ripping rallies, he comes on and all of a sudden he sounds all sad and doesn't tell the market what they want to hear. I think he's phenomenal at it, and he's going to have a chance tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, generally when you get really, I mean, I saw the Russell futures were up like 6% overnight.
Yeah.
Generally, when you get something like that, there's a little bit of exuberance in it. Now, I will temper that with something that you and I have talked about so many times here, Steve, is that Russell, right, the IWM wall, right? It keeps hitting that thing here. So in that case, if we actually gap up over that and hold it, then yes, we probably, we're probably going to keep going eventually higher. But
Yeah.
sure, it's all about your time frames. Kenny said it's about your time frames. If you're a long-term investor, I don't think you should be doing anything today. If you're a short-term trader, you might want to start trimming some things. Just making sure you're banking some profits.
What do you think about searching for maybe relative weakness here this morning and looking for things that are getting thrown out maybe and shouldn't be? Because pot stocks come to mind.
Yeah, I was just saying, you mean pot stocks? I mean, I tweeted earlier today, I said, no matter what side of the argument you were on yesterday, one thing's for sure, pot stocks lose again.
That is probably true.
Dude,
Yeah, and they're down 20. The Advisor Shares Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF MSOS down another 20%. So as it turns out, there is not support at the bottom of the chart.
Florida said no. I don't know what other states said no, but we said I was really surprised. I thought it was going to
So
pass.
it's still illegal to smoke pot in Florida.
I can't smoke pot.
Like the fact that Florida has no laws, but they have that law. Like,
I know, dude. It's
There's
hardcore.
a carve out right around Strazza's house. That's okay, but the rest of Florida you can't.
Well, I was talking to somebody about it. And I was like, I'm gonna smoke pot regardless of whether or not this law passes or not. So like, I'm okay. But for the rest of Florida, it's kind of a bummer.
I don't think the pot is on the Perlman program.
No, it's not. I'm loath to quote Doug Cass, as he was the first person ever to block me on Twitter, but even he said,
Not the
and he's a big-
last though.
yeah, rather it's for sure not the last. He's a big pot bull, and he, I think, tweeted out that pot is uninvestable for the next 6 months, like it was investable in the previous 2 years.
Right,
but whatever. So
So hold on a second. Let me check my math. No one said it'd be any math involved. 557. If it closes, well, not quite all-time lows. It's not quite an all-time low for MSOS, but
yeah.
the fact that it's even close is a joke.
Well, we've talked about this before. We're waiting for it to delist, and then we buy all the pot stocks we can.
You are
right?
so spot on, Brian Lund. Jesus Christ, you're so fucking right.
Thank you.
So right. You're absolutely right. As soon as they delist that shit, flip the book. 100%.
That's right.
You're so right. So anything that's going to happen?
So this has been a great year, right? And look, I'm the first person to tell you if I have a shitty year. It's been a great year. And about 2 weeks ago, I started trimming some of my bigger positions, and I thought, okay, what are some stocks I want to buy that kind of got ahead of themselves that I want to start buying? So for me, I have to kind of hack my own personality. And one of the things I do is I'll take a very small position in a stock that I'm interested in, because that will really focus me. As much as I try to follow things without being in them, I just somehow I lose track of them. So I started picking up some very small positions in a bunch of names, thinking that they were going to pull back. Unfortunately, most of them have kept going higher. Palantir, Shack, Amazon, things like that. So PayPal, not so much. But so some of these things, I'm waiting to see them pull back to add to positions. They're not going to probably pull back today. But it's a great problem to have your positions going higher. I just wish I was longer. I do like, I've been in this coin trade, right? This buy right that I've sold calls, bought them back, brought my.
Yeah, why don't you explain what you've been doing with that?
Pretty good.
Yeah, so I sold when coin was about 237 in May. I sold some 240s, some December 2240s, because there was a massive premium, like almost a 33% premium. Sold those. I bought them back for about 75-80% of the value, then sold them again when they rallied, bought them back again, sold them again, and I made a mistake, right? I bought them back going into earnings because I got greedy, right? I thought, oh, I don't want to be covered on them. I want to have just the commons. Of course, we saw what happened to coin. But here's the thing, right? We had
that was the right move, though, Brian.
Maybe. Look, I feel like I got a little too cute with it, but whatever. We had that big drop after earnings, but we're now starting to eat away at that. Steve, you and I have talked about this before. When you see a stock drop big on earnings, right, and work its way back up either in the same day over the course of a week or so, if it gets back above the level it was at where it dropped, it's usually game on, because it means all the information for at least 90 days is in the market, and it shows you that buyers have showed up. And right now, pre-market, I don't know if the market's open yet, is coin looks like it's going to erase that drop. So I'll be real interested to maybe even add to that.
So we're 4 days. This will be the 4th day after their earnings reaction, and we're back to above where we opened the day before their earnings report. So we would view this as like a positive earnings reaction, like a market beat. And the best thing about Coinbase's last earnings report is it was really a nothing burger. There was nothing to see. Their subscription revenues are growing beautifully. They're up like 50% year over year. That's great. But they really need a bull market down the cap scale. The altcoins, the shit coins. That's when Coinbase will make 10x the earnings that they make, in a quarter when there's not a bull market for altcoins, when there is one. Their operating leverage is insane. So that was one of these earnings reports, Brian, where it's like, it was fine, but like everybody knew it wasn't a bull market for altcoins and this wasn't going to be their quarter. Now, with the price action popping off and Doge and friends, this is Coinbase's time. I think.
And you tweeted that exactly after the earnings. You tweeted out that you saw what was going on in the coin, but you were attributing it to just general weakness in the right. And you're right. I mean, that's what it looks like.
We are so back with the crypto.
We have a crypto president apparently now. So,
it's
Can we, what are your thoughts if there was if the polls were actually right and those people weren't lying to you? How do you think the market would be reacting right now? Would it be the same thing or would it be the exact opposite?
You mean if Harris won?
If Harris won, crypto's getting slaughtered, stock Dow's down 2,000 points. Like, is that what you think or no?
So look, I was very clear about this going into the election. Is I think you can't argue that if Harris had got in, that there would be, not saying she would pass everything because she still has to deal with Congress, but there would be a higher regulatory environment, a higher tax rate environment, all that stuff. I think initially we probably would have got a sell-off, but again, markets are pretty smart. Companies are pretty smart. I think after an initial sell-off period, we would have probably stabilized and probably started to go higher. Maybe not as aggressively as we would in a Trump presidency. But look, we've got all sorts of things coming. Like, Trump's talking about tariffs. People are now debating whether tariffs are good for the market. There's so much coming. Again, I just tell people, just follow the technicals. And like you've said so many times, JC, know your time frames. Like if you are investing for the next 20 years, who cares what's happening today, right? But if you're an active trader, you have to take a different perspective. And above all, don't limit what you think will happen, right? If you say, I know this is going to happen, not only can you be wrong, but you get tunnel vision and you just blind yourself to any other possibilities that might happen. I just had this argument in my Discord the other day. I thought the VIX was consolidating, looked like it was ready to go higher, gun to my head. Had someone else there that said, no, the internal mechanics are not like they were in December. They're last year. They look like it's going to go down. I like that input, right? I want someone to challenge my thoughts because maybe I'm wrong. And then when I started to see it go down yesterday, I'm like, you know what? Let's just let go of my opinion and change my mind.
Yeah.
What are we buying? What's the end of the year trade, Mr. BC?
Well, so speaking about that reversal type thing where you drop and you go up, I do like the action we've seen in some of the home builders. Like if you look at names like Lennar, Lennar gapped right down to, I think it was the 200 or the 50 and then just turned around. So I want to see some stability there. I'm looking at some of those things. I think we might be in a pullback phase for the nuclears. Like if you look at CCJ, it's had a pretty decent pullback. That might be something to pick up.
Why do you think the home builders are getting hit this morning? Because
they wanted Kamala. They wanted Kamala. She was going to subsidize new home purchases.
Yeah, and we'll see. Look,
isn't that communism?
No, it's fine.
Like paying people to buy homes?
No.
We're going to see some short-term volatility, right? I'm not saying you should go out and jump on these right now. I'm saying these are areas to watch, right? I like Zoom, right? Zoom broke out recently. Now, of course, it's probably going to have a little bit of weakness today, but it looks like it's breaking out of that stage one that we've talked about so many times. So there's a lot of interesting names out there. One that
hold on, Brian, why do you say, excuse my ignorance, why Zoom's flat this morning, but why would you think it'd be down today?
Just because... What's that?
It's been up a ton. It's run
yeah,
up.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Just because I think it might.
But a lot of things have been up a ton that are up today. I'm just curious why would you think Zoom would be down today?
It might have that China connection to it as well.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, Who knows? You know, it's hard to say. But I think the other thing that's interesting, and this one I've looked at a few times and it's never quite worked for me, but it's looking interesting again, is AI, right? It's got this wedge. It's kind of in a channel. So, and it's going to be very easy to know if it breaks out. It's not there yet, but it's something I want to keep an eye on.
It does look good. It does look good.
And then
It's
how
looked
about
good,
this? How about this whole situation with rates absolutely ripping, bonds getting the shit kicked out of it? In theory, bonds crashing may or may not be a good thing for the stock market. But in this case, the stock market is saying it is a good thing because if you think bonds are getting killed because of inflation, look at copper and oil getting killed today. So rates, correct me if I'm wrong, Strazza, you know better than me. Seems like rates are ripping because the market's telling you the world's never been a better place.
Yeah, but there are competing dynamics, right? So, like, yes, I think so. The higher rates situation is an economic growth,
Not an inflation.
But like, look at the banks. The banks are telling you today, we've been a group that wants lower interest rates for years now. We need lower interest rates, or we're going to keep blowing up. But today, they're like, deregulation and a Republican sweep last night is a hell of a lot more important than the bond market. So there's always
7.5%, dude.
Yeah, but there's always more than one thing going on, right? So.
And that's where it comes in, where these companies are very adaptable, right? They know how to pivot. They know how to position themselves in changing environments. I think they're going to have a lot more leeway in a Trump administration than they will in a Harris one. So, but these guys, we're talking guys like Jamie Dimon, right? These are smart guys that know how to navigate these waters. Maybe in the short term, there's a little bit of a, concern or confusion, but long term, these guys, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think the opportunity is in the regionals, right? Like, I don't think the big banks trade is anything new.
Look at Carrie. Carrie's firmed up pretty well recently, right?
And it's breaking out of a nice little multi-month range here. The regionals, the big banks, they're good, and the market already sniffed that out. Over a year ago, they're not cheap anymore in terms of their price to book value. But the regionals are still super cheap, and just a little bit of deregulation, these guys are going to jack their dividends, buy back a ton of stock. And what does the market want more than that? So
yeah, and one I haven't looked at this morning yet, but I talked with Brian Shannon a lot at Stocktoberfest, and I've been talking with is XBI, right? Watching XBI, because that's obviously going to move with IWM, and I think that thing is primed to go. So that's another thing I'm going to be looking for. Moving into the end of the year.
Is the biotechs.
Yep.
So good.
I got to tell you, when you go in stock by stock in biotechs, you're going to get a much better idea of how well biotechs have been trading versus like an XBI. Underneath the surface, Brian, these things are moving, man.
Can you say Madrigal for me?
Madrigal.
Yeah.
Madrigal.
Yes. Madrigal.
So, and XBI is a great vehicle for the average investor, because if you're trying to pick individual biotech stocks, they're like Chinese stocks. You can wake up, they're
too
down.
many of them in there,
That's
Brian.
Right.
There's a zillion biotechs in there.
Yeah.
We didn't want to play that.
Make your own basket.
We didn't want to play that game. We wanted to express a bullish thesis on the group, and we said, forget it. XBI calls, get it done.
And I'm bullish on Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's my favorite time of year, so I'm super happy.
What is the better holiday, Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Wow. If I was a kid, I would have said Christmas for sure. As I've gotten older and more culinary in my old age, like Thanksgiving, we really do it up. But my wife has coined this thing called Thanksmas, right? It's the period after Halloween, right? You get that Halloween crap out of here, and you start kind of transitioning a little bit.
Halloween.
You transition into Christmas. So like when we have our Thanksgiving dinner here with all our friends and family, we'll have a Christmas tree up, but it's not decorated, right? So it's like a fall tree, and then we get past Thanksgiving, and then we start decorating. So it's a nice transition.
Dude, these guys put my lights up on my house like 3 weeks ago.
You can't even put up your own Christmas lights, huh?
Yeah. So just for everyone out there,
I'm gonna get on a ladder and get on a roof? Are you fucking crazy, bro?
So dude, my second newsletter, which is free, which is called The Anecdote. I have a story this week exactly about that, and it's called "The Key to a Happy and Long Life: Don't Fall." And it's all about getting up on the roof and putting on lights and what could happen. So check that out.
I don't get on roofs. I don't use chainsaws. Like, the risk reward in any of those things is not worth it. You pay the guy to get on the roof and do the thing.
Well, you're a trader. you're evaluating risk all the time, JC. I'm sure when you walk in at night, you think, what should I say to my wife? Will this make her upset? Like, you're always evaluating stuff. I get it.
I see what you did there, Mr. Brian Lund. I agree wholeheartedly. Thanksgiving over Christmas is not even close. And I agree, when I was younger, I would have had different opinions. Spot on. You know what I got this year? I want to hear your thoughts on the turkey. I ordered at the butcher spatchcocked brined turkey. Never done a spatchcock brine turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So what we do is, I know it sounds cliche, but Williams-Sonoma has a fantastic brine, right? I get it every year early because they run out of it. It's like a garlic and spice. It's their fall brine. And what my wife did last year, so we did 2 turkeys, and one of them she butterflied, right? If you can believe it, right? And so you butterfly it, you get it flat, and then she did some magical stuff to it. I don't know. So we had one traditional turkey and then one butterflied. And then I made a stracotto, which is an Italian, it's like a pot roast, but you literally cook it for 2 days in this great tomato. And then I made funeral potatoes, which is like a Irish wake type of potatoes. It's like a casserole that's got the top layer is like cornflakes and the bottom is like almost like a mayonnaise potatoes. I mean, we do it up out here. Seriously.
That sounds great.
Yeah. I'm getting hungry right now just talking about it.
What's the difference between a spatchcock and a butterfly? Or is it the same thing?
So butterfly is obviously, like if you get your filet mignon, sometimes I get a butterfly. You're just cutting it and splaying it. So I don't know what spatchcock
Oh, you're
is.
debone spatchcock, you're taking out all the bones.
Okay, no, you're not taking the bones out. You're just basically breaking, I guess,
you're opening it up.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. And so it's instead of, like a turkey's super thick, so you get different heats to go through it.
Yeah.
When you flatten it out, you can do different techniques and I guess marinades and stuff with it. So
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. A lot of butter, a lot of herbs.
Yeah. And I also do a pancetta green bean that's pretty decent.
Oh, can you send me that recipe?
Yeah.
Send me that recipe?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, sweet. All right. See, ain't got any Vietnamese Thanksgiving stuff, or is it just a gringo thing at your house?
But it's so funny, right? I've converted my wife to a number of different things since we've been married. One is avocados. Like she was never into avocados. Right now, she's artichokes. Now
do they have avocados in Vietnam or no?
It's not they probably do. It's not staple of their dishes. Neither artichokes.
They don't have a lot of Mexicans in Vietnam.
No. But the funny thing is, so my wife's family all comes over for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And they're growing up, they just never really had a traditional, even here in the United States, traditional Thanksgiving, not even really a traditional Christmas dinner. And they start texting us like 3 months, 4 months ahead of time. We can't wait. What's on and then they take home like leftovers. Like we make double or triple everything because we're just going to load people up, when they leave. So it's a big event here. Let me tell you.
I love it.
Sounds like you do right.
Brian Lund, ladies and gentlemen, a fan favorite. The chat is loving you. Keep up the good work, my man. Send me over that recipe, please.
Will do.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Adios.
Hi, Brian. I just want to qualify your statement before because you sound like a lazy dad, but I'm here to defend you. Talking about
Lazy
hiring
dad?
people. Yeah, you're talking about hiring people to put up lights and use a chainsaw and all this stuff. Listen, what JC is doing is very important to having a healthy local economy, right? This is called the law of comparative advantage. When you're not good at something, you pay someone else to do it for you. That creates a velocity of money effect, right? Where the economy is growing, getting stronger and stronger. This is very real. So if you care about your local economy, you're not going to put up your own Christmas lights.
I don't care about my local economy. I'm not going to climb up on the roof.
I tried so hard to help you out.
I know.
Wow.
I appreciate that. I'm telling the truth. It's not about my local economy, bro. I'm just not going to fall off the goddamn roof.
I don't
or
like
use a chainsaw or other
Yeah.
ridiculous things that other people do. No, thank you.
I don't like the word spatchcock. I hope I never hear it again.
By the way, everyone wants to know about my septic guy. I got the engineering that day. Strazza, I can be very persistent, can I not?
Yeah, I got nothing on that one. Guys, I'm going to drop off early today.
Go do your thing, Chief YOLO officer. Go cover your YOLOs.
Love you all. God
All
bless
right,
you.
adios.
market to-
Strazza
market to-
deserves the flowers. He deserves it. He got a lot right. We made a lot of money in the last 24 hours. Maybe more than I've ever made, maybe, potentially.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, it's enough money where I might just for fun go and look and see how much money we made. But yeah, probably Russell 2000 is up 6%, bro. Bitcoin's up 5,000. Yeah, we're doing pretty well over here.
And then of course the obvious question is what comes next? Is this the beginning of
Why don't we go over a few of the why don't we go over the market, see where we're at, because
yeah,
things are
we're open
moving,
now.
obviously. Biggest thing for me, VIX to 15. VIX to 15. Holy shit. It was at 22, 23 like a second ago, down to 15. That makes a lot more sense. S&P 500 up 2% today. That's 117 handles, 59.30 on the S&P. Dow still up 13 hundo. Hasn't given up any of it, which is, I don't want to say surprising, but a little bit surprising that they haven't given back any. 1,300 points on the Dow, hasn't given any of it up. NASDAQ futures up 1.8%, 364. Russell 2000 up over 6%. 30-year bond futures, lows of the day, down 2.25%, down to 115. Bonds getting crushed. Oil down 1.5%. Copper down almost 5%. Gold down 3%. Silver down 5%. Bonds getting killed. Dollar absolutely ripping. And then over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin up 7.5%, 5,000 points. Ethereum up 8%. Absolute monster. Let me rattle off some of these names for you guys who are into this sort of thing. You're looking at, ready, Popcat up 24%. Doge up 17%. Book of Meme 16.5%. Bonk up 15%. Baby Doge up 14. Harry Potter up 15. Brett up 12. Fwog up 13. Floki 11. Pepe 10. Mog 10. Cat in a Dog's World 9.5. Billy's up 9%. Geo Bowden down 27% this morning. Wow.
I forgot about that guy. Yeah. All right. That makes sense. So
The next question is, Geo Bonan's not at zero yet? Yeah, basically is. The market cap is like, it's a penny stock. It's like less than a penny stock. Wow.
Yeah, so DJT has already been halted this morning. What else? Tesla is about to make a new
DJT's up 24%, lows of the day.
Yep. Tesla's about to make a new, on the cusp of a new high of the day here. Just about there.
How funny is it? I mean, this is pretty funny. So DJT reported their earnings yesterday. They had their earnings report, and stocks up 24% after on that news of their earnings announcement. You don't see the humor there.
So
you're not having enough
irrelevant.
fun.
So irrelevant. Doesn't matter.
You know who didn't? Funny that they reported earnings yesterday after the bell, and the stock's up 24%.
You know who didn't report earnings?
Number?
You know who didn't report earnings, but was supposed to? SMCI. They did not.
SMCI was up 25% last night.
SMCI was
SMCI was up 15% last night. Excuse me. It is now down 17%. I looked last night around 11. SMCI was up 15% last night at 11 o'clock.
I'm sorry. I guess they did. For some reason, I thought they didn't report, but I guess they did. Regardless, whatever. Down.
Stock Market Mike wants to know if DJT has earnings. No. They reported their earnings because that's what publicly traded companies have to do. But no. It's more of a lack of earnings, to be clear. But yeah, that's the funny part. You see,
those DJT warrants are having themselves a day here. Yeah. Oh boy.
You think?
Yeah, 33%.
Only the best companies out there have warrants.
Right? What else? Oh my goodness.
Let's break down some of the small cap sectors. First of all, the IWM is up almost 5% on the day. The S&P 600, small cap S&P 600 up almost 5% on the day. Is that an all-time high? I think it is. Pretty sure that's an all-time high. Yes, it is. Wow, the S&P 600 literally making new all-time highs today. S&P small cap 600 index. And looking at a few of these components, let's go in there. So we're looking at, let's see, XBI, which is the biotech, up 1.2%, well off the highs. Now, granted, the market opened 7 minutes ago. Regional banks, highs of the day up 10%. Wow. 10% for regional banks. That is a serious move. Small cap technology up 5%. This has been a big loser. One of the biggest underperformers in the market is small cap tech, up 5% today. Small cap industrials up 5% today. Small cap discretionary is up 2% on the day. Amazon is making new all-time highs as we speak. Tesla is up 15%. Just a few of the things moving this morning.
Oh, and we didn't mention Nvidia.
One more thing, sorry. If Amazon is above 200, I will argue that you cannot own enough Amazon. If Amazon is above 200, you cannot own enough of it.
About to be new all-time highs here for Nvidia.
Sold to you.
Nvidia about to be new all-time highs. They are the world's most valuable company. So,
is it right now the world's most valuable company?
Yeah, I believe so.
Are we having Mary on today?
Yeah, she's here.
Oh, bring her on.
Is she here? Yeah, she's here.
Yeah, bring her on. Oh, welcome, Mary. Good morning,
gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hey.
Mary, no end zone dances today. That's the rule.
Okay.
Hard rule today. No end zone dances. Act like you've been there.
All right. Well said.
We have these days every now and then, and I have to remind the team. You're like, guys, we've been here before. We'll be here again. I know everybody's rich and making a lot of money, but smarten up. There's more trades. There's more opportunities. Turn the page and move on. Mary,
I was going to do that.
Give us
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, one success story. You can do one victory lap here on a trade that worked out great for you, and we're moving on. Tell me what else is on your radar.
Okay, so my Trump trade yesterday, or the election trade, was I bought Tesla just for funsies. That's one of the charts that I brought along. And so got involved yesterday on kind of the hopes that there was going to be the Trump victory, which of course then also meant victory for Elon and his companies. I was not going to go, with the Doge, just because still feeling a little burn from the previous crypto cycle with regards to some of those alts. So I went with the Tesla. And, honestly, if things had gone to the Harris route, I didn't feel bad about owning Tesla. It's one of those long-term stocks.
That's a great way to think about it, Mary. That's spot on. I like your train of thought there. That was great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I mean, I'm already so heavy crypto that I didn't need one more coin in the wallet. So this was my trade, and obviously it's paid off really well. Now I'm having the inner debate of, do I just, do I sell today because it's up 14%, or do I just let this sit and ride? Because that was kind of the intention was, if this didn't go my way, it's I think a good company to hold for the long term. So now I'm having that struggle internally of what I'm going to do with this one today. So.
I thought that, Mary, I know you'll like this. Brian Lund brought up a great point that when they delist these really shitty pot stock ETFs, if you want to throw up slide 2 there, Spencer, when they delist these things, that's the time to buy them. Buy all the pot stocks.
Yeah.
I thought he nailed that. So these things are getting crushed. MSOS today is down 24%, and this is an ETF. And then the other one is MJ, and MJ is down only 15%.
The whole point in ETF is that they're not supposed to drop 25% in one day.
Tell them, Spencer.
That's kind of the whole point.
That's right.
Seriously. Yeah, you guys know I watched Tilray's the one that I always watch, and I mean that one's down 10% this morning. So yeah, it'll be interesting if they start kicking these to the curb. Will that be the bottom? So it'll be interesting to watch.
Mary, I've been asking that for 4 years.
Spencer is an actual expert at pot stocks.
I am not an expert, and I have no positions, nor have I had positions for quite some time.
I'm watching this China. So far, they're buying them a little bit. They're coming in. They're buying them. I mean, granted, market's been open for 12 minutes, but
Yeah, we were talking China, we were talking solar. I mean, solar, I'm looking at Enphase right now. It's just getting hammered.
Yeah, but look at the tan. The tan is going back down to last month's lows. Let's see if they could stick them and the buyers come in again. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's what's on my radar, China and
Same.
solar. Because in
same.
theory, these things should get crushed. They are. But if they come in and buy them, I'm going to buy them too.
Yep. For solar too, what, down 10-ish%? 15?
Yep.
No, it's still good. It's still selling off. Yeah, it's interesting. It'll be fun to watch the next couple of days just to see, you know, obviously we've also got the J-POW coming out tomorrow, and I'm sure that'll be a whole another new big event that's going to move the market. And it'll be interesting to see how things shake out here for the next couple of weeks, just because I think, you know, based on what we were seeing with the betting markets and just price action, that the market was so strong during what was normally, you know, more weak time of the year. You know, was this going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news type event? And it'll be interesting to see if that's what happens. But you know, with Bitcoin doing what it's doing, that feels very risk on. So it's a fun time to be alive. It's a fun time to be making money, and I'm trying really hard not to do a dance.
I mean, you know, listen, you got to enjoy life. When you have a good day, enjoy it, right? But you don't got to be running around stepping on people's necks that are getting their faces ripped off. Like, that's not cool. Even though I'm very, very happy that they are in fact getting their faces ripped off. I think it's great. Fuck them.
So I brought along another chart. This is a trade that I got involved with just a couple of days ago. Roblox. So my kids actually have the game. They like playing it. They're constantly adding, you know, asking, "Hey, mom, can we add some whatever coins they use?" I don't even know. But this one had earnings last week, and on earnings gapped above that VWAP anchored from the all-time highs, and has held it. And so that seems very bullish to me, very, very strong. It's one of those bases that you guys all know I love to buy. I think the reversal's in and the path is up. So this is one that, like I said, got involved with just a couple days ago. And so I thought I'd bring that one along just because, you know, I try and bring the trades that I've been doing with to the show so that we can chat about them.
October 8th was the day that there was a short report published on Roblox.
Oh, really?
And so it's been about a month now. Got down to 37 that day. We're at 51 right now. So that's a tough business to be in, as we've talked about repeatedly. Good luck after the short sellers.
No, but right? I like the you know, your consultants, your in-house consultants on the Roblox situation.
Yeah. No
exactly.
kidding.
Yeah, we're on it.
If anything, this is just a hedge for Mary, right? Roblox is just a hedge for like your real life spending.
Like me buying shares of Disney. I'm gonna go spend a fucking fortune at this place. I might as well own the stock.
Yep.
Precisely, as why we own Disney as well.
Yep.
Dude, Disney's expensive, man.
Oh,
and I'm not like
gosh.
Spencer that goes to Disney without any kids, because that's just weird. We take our kids, and it's expensive, dude. Like, we're down 15, 20 grand. We haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's really crazy.
I know. What a racket. Might as well be long the stock, I'll tell you that. And then and any other thoughts? Were you looking at the individual securities last night on the Robinhood after hours, or no, Mary?
I really wish. So I actually missed the entire event that you guys did last night. I was going to go back and rewatch it, but now it kind of feels like hindsight, right? So I was actually doing the mom thing last night. My oldest is in the band in high school, and so there was the band concert, and so all evening I was sitting in an auditorium.
Their timing was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
It's not great.
So, yeah, and so then we got home, and it was late. Like, this was like a 2-hour long concert, hour and a half. I don't know. By the time we got home, it was well past bedtimes, and so got everyone off to bed. Flipped on the TV, and of course, I'm scrolling, futures, and mainly I was looking at Bitcoin because I thought, Bitcoin's going to tell me what's happening. Yeah. So by then, we were just watching the news, and finally called it a day because it was getting late and nothing had really been decided. I don't even think Michigan has been confirmed even yet at this point. I'm just so thankful to have this over because living here in a swing state, JC, living here in a swing state, I mean, it's just been a constant barrage of text to my phone and calls and
Yeah.
the media. You can't watch a football game without all the commercials being political ads. So I'm just so thankful that it's over.
So I'm gonna make a confession. I watched a little basic cable television last night.
I knew it.
Same.
I knew it.
So I went you know, we had our thing. So I did the family thing until 6, and then at 6 we went live until like 7:30, which was awesome, by the way. If you want to drop the link, Spencer, for everybody who missed it.
Yeah.
Anna dropped by. Joe, the elusive Joe Fahmy dropped by. Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
I missed that.
Dr. Pearls came by. Jeff Hirsch came by. John Nigerian was going to come by. He wasn't able to make it, but he's going to make up for it by coming on our show and talk about it. But we had a lot of fun. Nicky Montana, what a badass, dude. The stuff he's doing is so great. The chat loved him. So anyway, so then after 6 o'clock, then, you know, I was just looking at my charts and then, you know, doing, you know, just kind of checking things out. Then I got on a Twitter Spaces with a bunch of lunatic liberals that were losing their brain, you know, like it was pretty hilarious. These Canadian MAGAs were just ripping into them. It was kind of funny. So I went to like 11 o'clock with no basic cable. And then so my phone died. And then so I went to the living room to get a snack. And I'm like, I'm going to flip through and see what it is. So I went to YouTube TV where I watch all my sports. And I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to get some of these channels. As it turns out, I had all these channels. It was ABC, CNN, ABC, CNN, Fox, like maybe one more. So I kind of just went each one just to check it out. You know, the CNN people were like still saying that the race was close. I'm like, are you guys looking at the market? Are you guys crazy? And then on Fox, it was like a crazy party. And then the other one, ABC, I don't really remember too much. And then I just passed out. I went to sleep. And then I woke up on the couch around 3:30 in the morning, and Trump was giving like his like speech. I was like, well, I guess he won. So good night. You know,
Dude, that's kind of that was my night. Well, not really exactly, but I passed out at like 9:30 with like the lights on and everything, and I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't know where my phone was, and it was dark, and I couldn't find it, and I was like, who won? I don't know who won. I can't.
You
I can't know it.
You knew who won.
I can't. Well, yeah. I mean, even when I passed out, it was like it was leaning towards Trump, but it wasn't like over at that point. It was still early.
The market was ripping last night. It was over by noon. It was really over by 8.
It was definitely over early. But yeah, I was like fumbling around trying to find my damn phone in the dark to see. And then I was like, all right.
I really enjoyed looking at individual securities last night during the election results for the first time ever. I thought that was awesome. I was looking forward to that the most. Did not disappoint. A lot of action in the individual stocks last night, and the meme coins were. Whew, these things were all over the place. Dog with hat was up like 20% last night.
So was there an individual stock that really stood out to you, like from a buy standpoint or a sell standpoint?
Well, first of all, the small caps, Bitcoin making small caps breaking out to new all-time highs, and Bitcoin making new all-time highs. If they stick that landing from a structural perspective, I mean, that's got to be the biggest thing for me. And then the Geo, right? So the prison, I guess Trumpers love prisons, I guess. So stocks up 32% today. Geo, this is Geo Group, private prisons.
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that they love prisons; it's that Democratic political agenda calls for the abolition of private prisons, right? So,
hold on, the liberal agenda calls for the abolition of what?
Democrats want to get rid of private prisons entirely.
Why?
Because the idea is that prisons shouldn't be like privatized, right? Like a government service. So,
seems like, I mean, I don't know anything about prisons, thank God, but it sounds to me like a private company handling the prisons is going to be way better than the government. Is that not right?
I mean, they both do it right now. We have private and government-run prisons, so that's the system we currently have.
So
and one side thinks that that's fine. And the other side thinks we should just get rid of the privately run prisons.
Am I just being ignorant? I should know more about prisons.
No, it's fine. It's not a big. I mean, it's Geo Group. What's the market cap of Geo Group? Like $2 billion? Yeah, I'm right. $2 billion. Who cares?
I mean, well, I mean, Stock's up 30%, so somebody cares. So,
What I always enjoy is the inverse trading action in the gun stocks. Right.
Smith and Wesson.
They so like SWBI, Smith and Wesson is down 11% this morning because what's good for gun rights activists is bad for the guns business.
Right. So in other words, so because Trump is president, that's good for the Second Amendment, and therefore there's more supply, and therefore price goes down.
Right. Exactly. It's just a funny
It's
phenomenon.
some crazy shit, but that's real life right there.
That's real life. That's what happens. So RGR, same story, right? Yeah, same story this morning.
Which one's RJR?
RGR is Stern Ruger.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about guns either. I don't know anything
That's
about
all right.
guns or prisons.
Guns
is another one of those risk rewards, like chainsaws and climbing on top of roofs. Like I shouldn't be allowed to hold a gun.
All right, let's just do a retest and get out of here.
All right. I just want to give a shout out to Italian Merlot. Underrated. Italians make great Merlot. It's great.
They make a lot of great wines.
They make a lot of great wines. That is true. A lot of wines that have nothing to do with Merlot, but and Barolo is everybody loves it. It's great. Brunello, Barbaresco, like we know. Merlot from Italy, on the other hand, doesn't get the love it deserves. Give it a shot. They do a nice job.
Right.
What was your drink of choice last night, JC? Were you drinking? Did you have a
I was
wine?
drinking an Argentinian Malbec.
Malbec, nice.
Yeah, Argentinian Malbec. I belong to like these like clubs that they're always sending me like random wines. Wine Folly, great club.
Yeah.
Wine Folly, great club. She's very creative. She's not even a master somm. She's a certified somm like me, but she's just a way better certified somm than I am. She's fantastic, and she's very creative and sends great wines, affordable. She buys.
What
Sends me wines. I mean, I drink a lot of
difference?
Argentinian Malbec, so that's not that far off.
What is the difference between a master and a certified?
Certified is a level 2, master's a level 4, and the master somm's the hardest exam in the world, like way harder than doctors, lawyers, CFAs, like all those are easy compared to the master somm.
So when are you taking that one? You love tests.
I was going to apply for the advanced somm, which is the one before the master, but I needed to submit that by last week and I didn't get to it. So I got to wait another year.
Wow.
I'll help you study.
Yeah, I bet you will.
We'll go out to Sonoma.
I bet you will.
So
right.
My recess, so I was talking about the band concert. So you guys, this was the cutest thing. So my son, freshman in high school, he was all in this little tuxedo. It was so cute. So the band parents, all the kids have, the boys wear tuxes, the girls have long black dresses. It's very formal. Like I had to go out and buy him black shoes because he didn't have, like formal shoes, but he had the little tie and the vest with the jacket and the satin stripe down the pant leg. It was so cute. He looked so grown up, and it hit me last night, like all of a sudden how old I felt, because I was sitting in a high school auditorium watching my high schooler at a band concert in a tuxedo. And reality really hit me. So it was fun, though. It was a great event. The music was fantastic for high schoolers. I was really impressed with the music. They did an assortment. It was a Pops concert. And so they did a music selection from Phantom of the Opera, which was amazing. Les Mis. They did some Disney stuff. It was a great evening.
What
Nice.
instrument does your son play?
He plays the trumpet.
The trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's appropriate for today.
I like it. I'm into it. Spencer, what do you got?
Just today is my 2-year wedding anniversary, so happy anniversary!
Oh, congratulations,
congratulations.
to my wife, and survive 2 years. Hopefully, 2 of many more.
Get your wife some flowers, bro.
Seriously, get some flowers.
Get your
Well,
wife some flowers.
that's why we went to that cooking thing over the weekend. We're not doing anything tonight. It was just like we celebrated over the weekend, but yeah, we made it. So
congratulations.
Listen, make her a nice meal. Use real garlic. Make her feel special.
I'm not sure she would know the difference, honestly.
You'll see.
Real garlic is key.
Yeah. All right. That's what I got. So what's today? Today's Wednesday.
All day.
We got the analyst meeting, right? We got our next mastermind tonight. We got the Hot Corner for Hot Corner Insider members, and that's what we got today. So thanks to our guests, thanks to Brian Lund, thanks to Kenny, thanks to Mary, thanks chat for hanging out. We appreciate you always. We appreciate you. Go make some money. It's a good day.
YOLO responsibly. No end zone dances out there. Act like you've been there, folks. Act like you've been there.
True that.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.